How nervous are you right now?
I'm not nervous at all, actually.
You really aren't?
No, I never get nervous.
You don't?
No.
No, not even for your first interview and it's live around the world? I thought you'd be a little nervous, but that's great, because if you're not nervous, I won't be nervous. When we were watching, I was watching you in the background there, watching the video of you in the early years. Did that bring back memories for you?
It made me giggle.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen that footage in a long time.
Yeah.
And it bring back memories, yes. Me and my brothers, who I love dearly.
Yeah.
And it's just a wonderful moment for me.
Yeah. I saw you laugh when you saw yourself singing Baby, Baby, Baby.
Yeah, because James Brown, I think James Brown is a genius, you know. When he's with the Famous Flames, just unbelievable. And I used to watch him on television. And I used to get angry at the cameraman, because whenever he would really start to dance, they would be on a close-up and I couldn't see his feet. So I would throw things, I'd be angry. I said, show him, so I could watch and learn.
So he was a big mentor for you,
Phenomenal,
obviously. Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, and who else was?
Jackie Wilson, who I adore as an entertainer, and of course music, Motown, the Bee Gees, who are brilliant. I just love great music.
So when I look at those tapes of you, and heaven knows that putting this together, I think I've seen every piece of video ever done of you, and watching those tapes, when, especially in the younger years, you seem to really come alive on stage. There's something going on with you when you were a little boy on stage. Were you as happy off stage as you appeared to be on stage?
Well, on stage for me was home. I was most comfortable, and still most comfortable, on stage. But once I got off stage, I was like very sad.
Really?
Yes.
And sad from the beginning? Sad since it first started, since the fame?
Lonely, sad, having to face with popularity and all of that. There were times when I had great times with my brothers, pillow fights and things, but I used to always cry from loneliness.
You did?
Yes.
Beginning at what age?
Oh, very little. 8, 9.
When you all first became famous?
Yes.
So it wasn't what it appeared to be to the rest of the world, all of us. I remember I was a little black child, wanted to marry Jackie Jackson, your brother. So, I mean, to all of us, we thought this was the most wonderful thing in the world. Who wouldn't have wanted that life?
It is wonderful, and there is a lot of wonderment in being famous. I mean, you travel the world, and you see things, you meet people, you go places. It's great, but then there's the other side. There's, which I'm not complaining, there's lots of rehearsal, and you have to put a lot of your time, give of yourself a lot. I would do my schooling, which was 3 hours with a tutor. Then right after that, you know, I'd go to the recording studio and record, and I'd record for hours and hours till it was time to go to sleep. So it'd be nighttime. And I remember going to the recording studio. There was a park across the street, and I'd see all the children playing, and they'd be rooting and making noise, and I would cry. It'd make me sad that I would have to go and work instead.
Did you feel, Smokey Robinson has said this about you, and so have many other people, that you were like an old soul in a little body?
When I remember hearing that all the time when I was little. They used to call me a 45-year-old midget wherever I went. I used to always hear that, and I just would hear it, and I never thought about it. Just like when some people say, when you were little, when you started to sing, did you know you were that good? I said, I never thought about it. I just did it, and it came out. I never thought about it, really.
So here you were, Michael Jackson, with hits. You all had so many hits, 4 hits in a row, and you were crying because you couldn't be like other kids.
Well, I love show business, and I still love show business, but then there are times you want to play and have some fun, and that part did make me sad. I remember one time we were getting ready to go to South America, and everybody was packed up in the cars, ready to leave and go, and the plane was about to, and I hid, and I was crying while I was hiding because I really did not want to go. I wanted to play. I did not want to go.
Were your brothers jealous of you when you started getting all the attention?
Not that I know of, no.
You never felt a sense of jealousy?
Let me think, no.
No?
No, I think they were always happy for me that I could do certain things, you know, and but I've never felt jealousy among them, no.
Do you feel that they're jealous of you now?
I wouldn't think so. I don't think so, no.
No? What's your relationship like with your family? Are you all close still?
I love my family very much. I wish I could see them a little more often than I do. But we understand because we're a show business family and we all work. We do have family day when we all get together. We'll pick a person's house. It might be Jermaine's house or Marlon's house or Tito's house. And everybody will come together and we'll fellowship and love each other and talk and catch up on who's doing what and, you know.
So let's go back to when you were growing up and feeling all of this. Well, I guess it's a sense of anguish, I guess. So there was nobody for you to play with other than your brothers. You never had slumber parties. You never. Never.
No.
So I'm wondering, for you, being this cute little boy that everybody adored and everybody who comes up to you, they're, you know, pulling your cheeks and how cute, and this child prodigy, really, how adolescence affected you? Because I call, you know, adolescence going through that duck stage where everything's awkward, you know? And I'm wondering if, when you started to go through adolescence, having been, you know, this child superstar, did that have was that a particularly difficult time for you?
Very, very, very difficult.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I think every child star suffers through this period because you're not the cute and charming child that you were, and you start to grow. And they want to keep you young forever and little forever.
Who's they?
The public. And, you know, nature takes its course. And
it does.
And I had pimples so badly, and it made me so shy. I used to not look at myself. I'd wash my face in the dark. I wouldn't want to look in the mirror.
Really?
And my father teased me, and I just hated it. I cried every day because of it.
Your father would tease you about your pimples?
He would tell me I'm ugly.
Is that when you started to go inside yourself? Because obviously you haven't spoken to to the world for, you know, 14 years, I think, is your last televised interview. So you went inside. You became a recluse, and that was on purpose. Was it to protect yourself?
I felt that there wasn't anything important for me to say, and those were very sad, sad years for me. And
why so sad? Because on stage we see you performing, you're getting your Grammys. Why so sad?
Oh, there's a lot of sadness about my past life and, you know, adolescence and my father and all of those things. It just made me very, very, very sad.
So he would tease you, make fun of you?
Yes.
Did he ever beat you?
Yes.
He did.
Yes.
And that was difficult to take, getting beaten and going on stage and performing.
Yes.
And why would he beat you?
Because he saw me, he wanted me to, I guess maybe, I don't know if I was his golden child or whatever it was. Some may call it a strict disciplinarian or whatever, but he was very strict, very hard, you know, very stern. And just a look would scare you, you know, and...
Were you scared of him?
Very frightened. There's been times when he'd come to see me and I would get sick.
Really?
I'd start to regurgitate.
As a child or as an adult?
Both.
Both.
He's never heard me say this. I'm sorry, please don't be mad at me.
Well, I mean, I suppose that everybody has to take responsibility for what they've done in life. And your father is one of those people who also has to take responsibility.
But I do love him.
Yes, I understand.
And I am forgiving.
Yes.
You know, I don't go around
But can you really forgive? I say this on my show all the time. Can you really forgive if you haven't gotten angry? If you haven't dealt with how you really feel? I don't know if you can go from having been abused to forgiveness.
I do forgive. There's so much garbage and so much trash that's written about me that is so untrue. They're complete lies.
When you have broken all those records, when you have the #1 album ever sold, the #2 album ever sold, when you've broken every record there is to break, when you have become an icon in the industry, is there always the pressure to do something bigger and something better?
Oh, gee, that is something. It makes it harder each time to follow up. Because you try to be as original as you can be without thinking about statistics. Just go from the soul and from the heart.
And so when you think of that, what do? You meditate, you think, well, I will now do the Super Bowl. I will now.
No. I just create out of my heart, really.
I want to tell everybody, too, since we're back and we're live, we weren't prepared for, and I know this house probably wasn't prepared for all the lights that are here, and what happened was that the smoke alarm went off from all the lights that are around, and that's what happened, and that's why we went to break. So I wanted to also make it clear, because this is another rumor that's starting, that the only way I could have gotten this interview was that I contractually agreed to call you the King of Pop, and I would just like to say to the world, Michael did not tell me to call him the King of Pop. As a matter of fact, I haven't called you the King of Pop once here, and I frankly think that the King of Pop is probably too limiting a title for you. I mean, I think that most of the world would agree that you're no doubt one of the greatest entertainers the world has ever seen. So you would be King of Entertainment, or Liz Taylor said you were King of Pop, Rock, and Soul. Where did this whole notion that you proclaimed yourself King of Pop come from?
Well, I didn't proclaim myself to be anything. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be who I am. King of Pop was first said by Elizabeth Taylor on one of the award shows.
That's where this all started?
Yes, and then fans, all the stadiums that we play, they bring big banners that say the King of Pop, and jackets that say the King of Pop, and T-shirts that say the King, and they chant it outside my hotel, King of Pop, King of Pop, King. So it just became something that just, you know, that happens all over the world.
Happened.
Yeah.
But you didn't tell me to call you King of Pop.
No.
No.
Why would I tell you to call me King?
I've been calling you Michael.
Yeah, I think the press loves to just start trouble like that. I mean, again, do not read the tabloids, please. It's crazy.
Do you go out? Do you date?
Yes.
Who do you date?
Well, right now it's Brooke Shields. Well, we try not to just be everywhere and go. It's mostly at home. She'll come over. I'll go to her house because I don't like going out in the public.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah.
With Brooke Shields?
Yes, and another girl.
And another girl? I'm going to ask you this, and it's embarrassing for me to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are you a virgin?
How could you answer that question?
I just want to know. I want to know.
I'm a gentleman.
You're a gentleman.
I'm a gentleman.
So
I'm a gentleman.
So, okay, I would interpret that to mean that means that you believe that a lady is a lady, and therefore...
That's something that's private. I mean, you know, shouldn't be spoken about openly. You can call me old-fashioned if you want, but, you know, to me that's very personal.
So you're not going to answer it?
I'm embarrassed.
So you're not going to answer it. Well, we would like to know whether or not there is a possibility that you are going to marry one day and have children.
I would feel that my life isn't complete if I do not, because I adore the family life. I adore children, and I adore that whole thing. And I would love to. That's one of my dreams, but I couldn't right now because I'm married. I am married, but to my work. I'm married to my music. And it has to be that closeness in order to do the kind of work that I want to do. And
so what kind of woman makes you, I know in the video, wait a minute, no, in the video we're going to see later, we're premiering the world video, but you say there's a line where you talk about being quenched. So what kind of person does that for you?
Quench my desire.
Yeah, quench my desire.
Yeah. Well, Brooke, I've always liked her. And I mean, when I was little, I used to stay with Diana Ross. Me and my brothers, we stayed with her for years. I've never said this, I always had a crush on her.
You did?
Yes.
I heard, too, this was another one of those rumors, that you had proposed to Elizabeth Taylor at some point?
Elizabeth Taylor is gorgeous, beautiful, and she still is today. Yeah. And I'm crazy about her.
Yeah, but did you propose to her?
I would like to have.
Yeah. Well, Elizabeth Taylor is here. Liz, can we bring Liz in now? Liz had said that she wanted to be here to hold your hand through this. You don't look like you need your hand held.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Taylor!
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Have a seat.
Nice
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Did Michael ever propose to you?
No! And I never proposed to him.
Never did. What do you think is most misunderstood about Michael Jackson, Liz?
All the things you mentioned. He is the least weird man I've ever known. He is highly intelligent, shrewd, intuitive, understanding, sympathetic, generous, to almost a fault of himself. And he just, if he has any eccentricities, it's that he is like larger than life, and some people just can't accept that or face it or understand it. His talent on stage, why I called him the king of pop, rock, soul, music, entertainment, whatever.
Yes.
There's nobody that can come near him.
Yeah.
Nobody can dance like that, write the lyrics like that, the music, cause the kind of excitement that he does.
And why do you think you all are such friends? What has brought this kind of bond? Because people tried to make this be weird.
Well, it's not. I mean, our childhoods are very similar. And we have that from the very beginning in common. I was a child star at 9, had an abusive father, and that kind of brought us close together in the very beginning.
And what is it, I'm going to ask Michael this question later on, but what is it you most want the world to know about him?
What a wonderful, giving, caring, generous man he is, and how good he is.
And he's funny, too.
Oh, he's wildly funny.
He can crack some jokes, I tell you.
Yeah, but he's a good man.